This program is intended for audiences over 18. If you're under 18, please don't watch. For $100,000, would you survive in the wild with a stranger of the opposite sex, completely alone for 21 days? The rule: no clothes allowed, no food or clean water provided. The girl in this episode might just be the most stunning yet. Our male contestant, Jared, is a guy from New York. To prepare himself for the wild, he practiced making fire by friction at home every single day. His partner is the lovely Anna, a senior college student, and the youngest contestant ever in the show's history. She's using her summer break to take part in the challenge, hoping to win enough prize money to pay her tuition fees. Before departure, Anna worried her partner might turn out to be an old man. But when they met, she realized the stranger in front of her was actually a handsome mixed-race guy. Her smile spread wide across her face. It was attraction at first sight. To ease the awkwardness, they unfolded the map to study their route. First, they needed to find a spot to build shelter. Later, there'd be time to learn more about each other. This challenge takes place in the vast, dangerous forests of the Philippines. The scenery is pleasant, but the heat is brutal. Wild boars roam here, and they're vicious. They'll attack anyone who trespasses their territory, so the pair must choose a safe location. Following the map's directions, they set off on their journey. Anna's soft skin was quickly scratched by branches. With every step, she cried out in pain. They trekked like that the whole morning. By now, her fair face was tanned like a roasted potato. Finally, they spotted a small stream. Anna bent down to drink, but Jared stopped her just in time. He warned her never to drink straight from a stream. In the wild, that could mean parasites and days of dysentery, so they kept moving. Soon they reached a beautiful clearing. Jared pulled out his knife and began chopping wood. He wanted to build a shelter fast, so he could spend more time getting to know Anna. As night approached, before such a lovely woman, Jared's urge to impress grew stronger. Soon, a bamboo bed stood ready. Seeing Jared dripping with sweat, Anna wanted to help too, so she tried to start a fire. But reality proved, no matter how pretty you are, beauty can't light a fire. No matter how hard she tried, the sparks just wouldn't catch. At last, she had to give up. Jared said he'd take over. His hands spun the stick furiously, but still nothing. Every effort to start a fire ended in failure. By nightfall, with no fire, they shivered in the cold. Their only option: hold each other close, body to body, for warmth. When morning came, the night's exercise had left them exhausted and parched. Desperate, they went to the stream and drank directly. At that point, they no longer cared about germs. What mattered was surviving another day. Today's mission: upgrade their shelter. And in this, Jared was a true professional. He quickly finished upgrading their shelter, all within one morning. The two tried once again to start a fire. No surprise, it still failed. Night fell, and Anna shivered in the cold. No matter how she tried, she couldn't fall asleep. At the crucial moment, Jared stepped in. He did everything he could to keep her warm. Finally, dawn arrived. Anna's face was pale and hollow. Jared realized things couldn't go on like this. They were burning more energy than they could replace. Human stamina, after all, has its limits. They had to get that fire going, no matter what. After countless tries, they finally coaxed a spark to life. Anna cheered like a child. Jared felt as if he'd just been set free. Watching the flames dance, they could almost see the $100,000 prize calling to them. But one thing was still missing: food. Since the start, Jared had burned through his energy and protein stores. His body was starting to weaken. He crafted a pair of sandals from paracord, then set off to hunt. Together, they searched the forest. But the stream's fish were tiny, and they had no tools to catch them. As darkness approached, they were still empty-handed. It looked like another day of starvation. Though cold and hungry, at least now, their bond had grown stronger. In the blink of an eye, it was day 10. Both were feeling weary. Today's goal: find food, no matter what. Anna decided to weave a fish trap, while Jared headed into the woods to set snares. Sometimes hunger and fear bring out the deepest human potential. The whole day passed like that, but at least they found a glimmer of hope for tomorrow. Next morning, they woke early to check the traps. The snares had clearly been triggered, but there was nothing caught inside. Jared clenched his teeth in frustration. Seeing him so defeated, Anna's heart ached. If this kept up, they'd soon starve to death. If no food turned up, they'd have to abandon the challenge. But luck was about to shift. Anna finally finished weaving her fish basket. Confidently, they set it into the stream, but after an entire day, still not a single fish. With no choice left, they drank water to ease their hunger. Day after day of starvation, their bodies began to fail. No matter how much strength Jared once had, without protein, he couldn't go on. He was completely drained. For a moment, he even thought of giving up, but thinking of Anna, he gritted his teeth and pushed forward. They say persistence pays off. Even starving, even freezing. They couldn't give up now. By day 15, the two set out again to search for food. This time Jared finally caught a few crabs. Without hesitation, he skewered and grilled them. After half a month, they finally had their first real protein meal. The portions were small, but when you're starving, every bite feels like gold. That crab lifted their spirits higher than ever. But their joy wouldn't last. Misfortune was on its way. Tonight, a herd of wild boars surrounded their camp. As the man, Jared had no choice but to face the danger head-on. After driving the boars away, he and Anna huddled close, sharing warmth and strength. And so, they pushed on, surviving all the way to the final day. At last, Anna felt a wave of relief. They spread out the map to study the route. Now, as long as they could reach the safe extraction point, the prize would be theirs, $100,000. They set out immediately, but the vast forest was full of hidden threats. After hiking for half a day, they finally reached the safe extraction site. They climbed into the show's off-road vehicle and headed home. Though the challenge had ended, the two of them were starting a brand new life. They had fallen in love. They became a couple, for real. A truly perfect ending. In the next episode, surviving in the wild with a beautiful partner, with no food or water allowed, and, most notably, no clothing. At night, they'll manage camp life side by side. If it were you, would you take on a challenge like this? Our female contestant, Jay, has an incredible physique. She's a fan of survival expert Esther Shefford. Jay trains hard on survival skills, much of it learned from the expert herself. By entering this contest, she wants to prove that she's surpassed her idol. Our handsome male contestant is a botanist, for whom building snares is second nature. Setting effective traps is simple for him. His goal in this challenge is crystal clear. He's here to bring home both the prize money and his partner. Their challenge location is unlike the last. Deep in the wilds of Florida, black bears roam the land, fierce and bold. Alligators lurk in the water, deadly and silent. Venomous snakes and spiders add to the peril. It's a paradise for lovers of the untamed, but a tropical storm may strike at this time of year. Soon, the two met at the rendezvous point, wearing nothing but grit. Right from the start, Can brought a quirky smile to Jay's face. Both were buzzing with excitement. After brief introductions, the 21-day survival trial began. After checking their tools, they scanned the area for a place to camp. The swamp was hard to traverse, but they chatted cheerfully all the way. After half an hour of slogging, they finally found a campsite. Working together, they quickly raised a sturdy shelter and soon had a fire crackling with ease. Day one went smoothly until late that night, as they rested close, a huge bear suddenly charged into camp. They had to put every comfort on hold. Thankfully, the bear was only curious. It looked around and left without attacking. Next morning, they woke to discover it had rained overnight. Water levels were already rising. The two decided to find a new shelter, somewhere safer from the flood. On the way, they discovered a small stream. Exhausted from the stormy night before, they were parched, so they drank straight from it. After rehydrating, they reached a new campsite. Having built shelters before, this time they finished it quickly and efficiently. But once done, hunger struck again. So Jay decided to go fishing. She managed to catch plenty of small fish, but after standing in the stream too long, she seemed to have developed a fever. Still, the smell of grilled fish revived both their spirits. Recharged with protein, they clung to each other with wild energy. As time passed, they realized the rain had gone on endlessly. There was no sign of stopping. In fact, the downpour was caused by a massive tropical storm. Even the city nearby was flooded. By the 5th day, their camp was underwater. Even though Kent dug trenches to drain it, nothing worked. As the winds grew stronger, even the crew began to panic. They rushed to find the contestants and evacuated them to safety. After a full day sheltered in a hotel, the storm finally passed. It had left the city in ruins. Still, the two decided to continue their challenge, but along the road back, the destruction everywhere made them uneasy. When they returned to the site, they were stunned. The once lush forest now looked like a wasteland. And they knew the hardest days were still ahead. They hugged each other for comfort and pressed on. Back at the site after the storm, they saw the area had been devastated. Even the fish in the stream were dead. But to their surprise, their shelter still stood strong amid the wreckage. Both were astonished. That night, as they rested, a bear suddenly charged into camp. Can's moment of peace was shattered. He leapt to his feet and ran out. Seeing him rush forward, the bear turned and fled. The next morning, they found a hole left behind by the bear's claws. But their biggest problem now was hunger. They tried setting up new fish traps, but days passed without a single catch. They suspected the storm had swept all the fish away. Soon, Jay's skin began to show allergic reactions. Seeing this, Ken quickly thought of a way to find her some protein. He set traps hoping to catch small squirrels, but without bait, they didn't work. The next day, the traps had sprung, yet were empty. To avoid starving to death here, Ken used his knowledge to dig up edible roots, but unexpectedly, they didn't process the roots properly, and both fell ill. That mistake taught them never to eat carelessly again. Without protein for so long, their bodies weakened. They were nearing their physical limits. By now, both had become true starvation experts. In endurance alone, they had surpassed even survival master Esther Shefford. Still, the traps from before yielded nothing. Their last resort, his only option was to replace it with a snare trap. After setting the trap, a snake suddenly appeared before him. He immediately gave chase and swiftly sent it to meet its ancestors. When Ken returned with the catch, at that moment, Jay decided he deserved a reward. Under the dark canopy, they celebrated with grilled snake. Together, they had endured the full 21 days. After a difficult trek through the swamp, they finally reached the evacuation point. Though they went their separate ways afterward, they had left an unforgettable mark on each other's lives. This time, the contestants not only aced the challenge, they also caught a small crocodile, size X, nxx.com, as they joked, a high-calorie feast, a 2-meter python, and a 4-kilogram catfish. How did they pull it off? This time's location, the Rupununi wetlands of South America, hailed as the crocodile paradise of the continent. Here, you face not just hundreds of crocs, but mosquitoes, snakes, rats, and ants, each a trial of its own. Kevin is a retired special operations soldier, seasoned in jungle and swamp warfare. To him, this challenge feels almost like a holiday. His partner, Rose, is a nurse, whose biggest hobbies are fishing and outdoor hunting. Her goal in joining is simple: prove she can survive in the wild on her own terms. Soon after, the two meet in the swamp. For safety, they need to move out as quickly as possible. The water here teems with crocs. Not long into their trek, Rose is too exhausted to go on. She asks to rest. Kevin quickly chops branches to throw up a shelter. After a few minutes of hard work, they complete a surprisingly comfy wild camp. A chilly little romance, a thatched hut, and 2 golden hearts in the wild. They brought a net, so at least the mosquitoes won't feast on them at night. When darkness falls, they settle in quietly, huddled together till dawn. But in a careless moment, Kevin gets bitten by something. Looking closer, an army of ants. Next morning, at first light, Kevin lays out a plan. He and Rose will rebuild the shelter. But soon after, the weather turns without warning. A heavy rain pounds down mid-build. It's maddening. Kevin grits his teeth. The storm goes on for hours with no break. With no other choice, they risk the chill and keep working. They press on. Night closes in. They cling tight to keep their bodies warm. At daybreak, Rose admits that without fire, it was awkward trying to keep warm with Kevin. She teases that he ran out of steam too soon. Kevin says nothing, but after hearing that, he fashions a makeshift bikini for Rose. She's delighted to try it on. To thank him for the help, Rose volunteers for the crucial task, making fire. With a bit of stick friction and patience, she sparks a flame. With fire lit, it's time to find food and replenish protein. Kevin heads out, wandering the forest most of the day. He discovers a trove of chestnuts, Cracking them open, what a pleasant surprise. Back at camp, peeled and roasted, they taste fantastic. One bite, sweet with a tang. Inspired, Kevin gets an idea to bake a fragrant chestnut flatbread. After the meal, they carry their net to the river to fish. After a long stretch of effort, they don't net a single shrimp. Since they caught no fish that day, Kevin decided to craft a fish trap by hand the next morning. He used bamboo and bark strips, weaving them into a basket trap. After some time, a simple trap was ready. But waiting idly wasn't Kevin's style. He would turn himself into a weapon instead. After a few minutes of work, a bamboo spear was ready, and he waded into the swamp to hunt. Rose stood on shore, watching. To her surprise, he returned with a giant catfish in hand. He grilled it over the fire for 2 minutes, and the taste was nothing short of amazing. After a hearty meal, that night both of them seemed full of energy again, ready to play and laugh by the firelight. The next morning, Kevin checked the trap, and to his surprise, a small crocodile had wandered right in. He thought of making crocodile sashimi, but realized there was no mustard, so he went back to camp and fired up the grill instead. Rose couldn't wait to taste it. Wild crocodile meat was unbelievably good. Its flavor far surpassed farmed meat. To make camp life more comfortable, Rose even crafted a handmade love chair for Kevin. Days passed quickly. Soon it was day 15. After hours wandering the forest, Kevin caught a small water snake. He tossed it straight onto the fire, making smoked snake. Even dried buffalo jerky would bow to this delicacy. Its protein content was far higher than beef. After eating, Kevin was fully recharged for the night ahead. As they played games that evening, a sudden downpour hit. The worst part? It rained for days. Inside the shelter, the soaked leaf bedding was ruined. Kevin used his body to shield Rose from the cold. They lay there for days, enduring together, until evacuation day finally came. Their extraction point was a village 6 kilometers away, reachable only by crossing a swamp hundreds of meters wide and trekking through dense rainforest. After studying the map carefully, they set out immediately. Along the way, they faced countless crocodiles. To stay safe, they detoured deeper into the jungle. After over an hour of walking, they finally reached the evacuation point. A vehicle awaited. The crew had arrived. They had successfully completed the challenge and took home a grand prize of $100,000. If you were offered such a challenge, would you dare to take it? Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you won't miss the next exciting survival adventures. Finally, share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next journey.